I encourage the team to think about the question that is being asked about direct service minutes. The question being asked, how long do you think this student needs of direct service? Hello, Jenny Ponzuric here. This is part 4 in our 6-part series about the IEP process. Today, I want to chat about service minutes. Am I the only one who has heard these types of statements during IEP meetings? I provide math services 4 times a week for 30 minutes for second graders. We only provide speech and language services twice a week. We don't even offer it 3 times a week. The only option we have for services at the high school level is pull-out services in a special education classroom for the whole period. While each service provider at an IEP meeting has a schedule and interesting logistics involved every time a student needs service, we don't want a parent to think that there's only one way to provide services. Why? Because there are multiple ways to provide services. I encourage the team to think about the question that is being asked about direct service minutes. The question being asked, how long do you think this student needs of direct service to meet the agreed upon goals in 1 year? Is that the question being asked at your IEP meetings or something similar? And what is that answer to this question based on? Number one, the service provider has experience determining service minutes. They have worked with many students with similar levels of need and are likely aware of how much time it will take over the year to reach these goals. And if you have a newer service provider, suggest they reach out to a job-alike peer and brainstorm how many minutes they think it might need before the IEP. The second thing that this question is based upon is the student's learning rate. What did the data show during the evaluation process over the last year when we have annual meetings? And the last thing is, are there any other factors that might impact progress towards the goal, including motivation, behavioral concerns, or significant attentional concerns? Then consider what other supports, including accommodations and indirect supports, such as consultation with a general education teacher, may be needed to help the student meet this goal. So think about how the team asks the question when transitioning from discussing goals and accommodations to services. Then think about how each service provider answers the question. Check out my handout that includes 4 quick tips when discussing service minutes. The handout summarizes my chat here and includes 2 bonus tips. See you in part 5 of the series. That concludes another episode of the Prepared School Psych podcast. And I hope today's discussion equipped you not just with knowledge, but also the confidence to take action. Remember, every conversation we have and every resource we share builds a bridge towards a more inclusive and empowering learning landscape for our students. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast for more insightful conversations and resources to support your journey. Share this podcast with colleagues. We would love it if you would also rate and review the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Just a reminder, everyone, the information and advice provided in this podcast are for guidance purposes only, and all listeners are required to follow both federal and state law and their own school district guidelines and policies. Thank you.